This is a video on how to use the change tracker program. The first thing you get is you get the change tracker setup program that Anya will send you, or Simon, or whoever will send it to you. You unzip the file and you have it like this in a folder. To install it, you just double click on it. Um, this is the setup wizard. Next, English will be the default. Next, I accept. Next, and you make sure that you have a desktop icon on it, so you know where to find the program. Click next and install. Right, let's launch the program. Um, before we get to how the program works, let me just quickly show you how you will get the files. So you are the proofreader, and you need you get the file from Anya, or the project manager. The file looks like this. This is just an example. This is the Q2 to proofread. The first thing that you do is you create two folders for yourself. You create, this is just on my desktop, I have a gems folder. First folder that you create is a folder called translated, or translate, yeah, let me just call it translated. And you go and put the translation in there, so you have a clean, or you always have a clean copy of the translation. Let's just copy it and we paste it in the translation folder. This file you don't touch. This is just so the program knows what is the original file, and what to compare your proofread file to. So we create another folder called proofread, and this is the folder in which you will put your proofreading. Um, so we just right click, copy, and we go and paste a copy of the file in the folder. So you would have now the translated file and the proofread file. This translated file, as I said, you don't touch. That's just to have the program know which file to compare it to. For the proofread file, this is the file that you're going to use. So let's go back to the program. Um, Here you can see on the left hand side is the translated files. On the right hand side will be the proofread files. Uh, so the first thing you can do, you can either drag it in here, or you can just copy it. I'm going to show you how to drag something. Um, so this is the proofread file. I don't want that. I want the translated file. So to drag it, you just left click and hold the mouse button in, and you drag it into the translated file column. Here it says drop the corrected files. I'm not going to do that now because I first want to do the actual correction. So let's go to the corrections, and this is the proofread file. I open it, and you are now, this is just a dummy file. You want to now go ahead and you want to make adjustments to the file. Let's say, for instance, that ICF isn't correct, um, and and let's see, this number isn't correct. It should be a 4. The other thing, let's do that colon might not be needed there. I'm just making things up that as you would proofread a normal file, you would go ahead and make the changes. For instance, let's take out that yeah. Um, the other thing, let's do a couple of more. Say, for instance, that should be 8.7 milliliters, and let's do another one somewhere. Say, for instance, that question mark should be an exclamation mark, and that cursor, that bracket shouldn't be there. Okay, so you would do it the other way. Finish the file and make all of the changes. And once you're happy with the changes, you just save the file. You can normally you would. This is just because um, I did a test with the file. I'm going to save it anyway. Normally, you would go to the warnings and see what the warnings are. For instance, if you have the wrong numbers, or if you have um, a tag that's missing or something like that. For now, I'm just going to say save anyway and close it. So now I have the proofread file. Um, Important, please don't change the file name. Please don't now go and put something like proof in there. Um, the, this change tracker program needs to have the file names, the original translated file, and the proofread final file needs to have the same file name so it can link it. So I'm not going to do that. So now the file is completed. Um, you can see you can see that there's still my translated file, and there's a place now for my corrected file. So proofread, I make sure that it's the proofread file, and I drag it in, normal left click, drag it in, and you drop the cursor there so that you see now there's the translated file on this side, there's the proofread file on this side. Um, the next thing you do is you just tell the program, the change tracker program, um, that it can go ahead now and do its job. Uh, to do that, you just auto link it by names. Once I click this button, you'll see a little line comes there. You just do it again. The line comes there. It shows that this is the source file, that's the translated file, and it can go ahead. So I press next. Next, and it brings up a view for me, showing where are all the changes. That's the source file, or that's the file name that I used. That's the source. That's the translation, and there is the correction. I'll show you now in the actual report on how to do it and go about it. Um, Next button you click is you click Make Report, so that it creates a report in Excel. I'm just going to place it um, on on the desktop in the folder that I have um, for it. You can now put it something like quarterly report um, 2, and maybe put the date so that you know for yourself when it was done. Or this obviously can have any file name that you want, but it might be a descriptive file name for what you did, and then the date is just so that you know when you did it, and when you sent it and so forth to Anya. And I press save. Um, Now this program is finished. It says there report created, and I can exit the program. And you'll see then there's the report in your folder. If I double click on the report, it opens it in Excel. As I said, this column shows the file name, that column shows the source, that column shows the translation, and there are your corrections. You'll see in the report in red is things that was changed or deleted, and in blue you'll see things that was added. So for instance, in this one, ICF was deleted. There's no blue, so that means it was just deleted completely. In this one, you'll see the 2 is in red, so it means it either changed or deleted. And there you can see it's a blue, so you see easily what the change was. Colon is not there. You can see it's not there. The ya, you can see the ya is not there. 5 was changed to a 7. The question mark there was changed to a exclamation mark. So this file is then sent to the translator, and the translator decides, does he or she agree with the changes. Um, for instance, if he now feels, no, that 2 is correct, it must be a 2, I don't agree with that, the translator just goes to um, the proofread file, open the file, and he goes and he can perhaps go and search for that, copy it, let me just copy it, and he can control F is to find something and paste it in there. Let me just find it, and the computer finds it, um, and he sees, let me just see if there's another one. um, Sorry, let me just see what that, sorry, I just had to find the correct one, because I need to search for the correction, because this is the proofread file. So let's just search for the correction. Paste, and we find it, and it finds it there, and you say, no, I don't want that 4 there. The 2 is correct, and I go ahead. This is now the translator's job. If you agree with something, if you feel that that colon is not needed, and the proofreader was correct in changing it, you don't have to do anything. You just go ahead, because the change is already made in the file. You don't have to accept it or anything like that. You just go ahead to the next one, and you say, now, for instance, let me just show you guys again. For instance, this ya, you felt that the proofreader shouldn't have deleted the ya. So let's go and search for it. I highlight the corrected file, copy corrected segment, and control F again, control F to find something, and paste. Yes, yes, I find I need to, this is where it was, and um, you say that ya before kono kono is correct, and you just place it in back into the file. Again, if you if you don't if you do agree with any of the changes, you don't have to do anything, and you can just save the file and save this file, because that's the, again, um, this is just because I did a test and made a lot of random changes. Normally you would go to warnings and see why they are warnings. For now, I'm just going to save it anyway. um, and now you can go ahead and you send the proofread file, or proofread file is now completed, and the translator can send the completed file to Anya, and everything should be fine. The proofreader obviously sends the report to Anya, or to the project manager, and the proofread file. Anya can decide, perhaps she wants you guys to fill in the report by saying something like, um, agree or disagree, but she'll decide on that, and she'll let you know if this step is indeed needed. Um, for now, any questions or anything that you might have, you can just email me, or contact Anya or Simon, or whoever is in charge of it, and just ask them on how to use Thanks.